Hi, this is How to Get Your Shit Together with me, Sue Wright. In my last podcast, I spoke about the Triad of Health. I just made a brief reference to it. So this one, I want to talk a little bit more about it. Because as far as my personal experience and opinion goes, I think that there is more to just your physical and mental health. I think there's your energetic health as well, your spirit, your soul, whatever you want to call it. Now, for me personally, I have been struggling lately with my physical health because I've had surgery. And what happens is if that triad is slightly out of alignment, then other things start to deteriorate as well. So because I've been physically unable to do things because of the surgery, mentally I have got very disgruntled, down in the dumps, fed up, and just generally lethargic and feeling very off par, shall we say. So that has an impact as well. And then there is the energy side of things. So when things are not functioning properly, when your mind's not functioning properly, your energy, I'm referring to the energy in your chakras or just your general kind of spirit and soul, you again feel kind of off kilter. So it's worth paying attention to and attending to the various different components of the whole that is a human being, and well, animals as well. But it's worth paying attention to that. So with the physicality side, so physically I am limited as to what I can do. I am not very good at being limited, and I try and do too much and then I hurt elsewhere. So with my left arm being out of action, I overdo it with my right, or I compensate, when in reality what I should be doing is just doing less. And if anybody knows me is listening to this, you will laugh at that, because you know I'm not very good at doing less, but I'm being very, very, very good the last 3 weeks. So it is, if there's a physical issue going on, acknowledge it is the first step, and then work within the physical limitations you have. If it's something you can work to correct, to improve, then you need to do so, because that will improve your mental health as well. But if there's nothing, if like me it is just that good old time and rest, then it's acknowledge it, accept it, and just sit with it. Because if I try and push too hard, I will become more sore and grumpy. So it is just acknowledge it, accept it is what it is, see if there's anything you can do to rectify the issue. So with me, it is Pilates based techniques I'm working on for my entire body, not just for the injury area. I'm becoming more aware of my imbalances. I'm trying to correct it using Pilates based techniques. I am just becoming very body conscious again, making sure when I'm doing something, is it within my capabilities? If it isn't within my capabilities, leave it. If it is, am I doing it correctly? As in, am I correctly using my body, or am I building up asymmetry? So that means, am I doing more on one side, which is going to cause further issues down the line? So it's acknowledge it, accept it, and then work with it the best you can. If you can fix it, super. If you can't, well, you're just going to have to kind of acknowledge and accept that aspect of it as well. The mental side of things, again, it's mentally go through the same process. So for me, I need to really sit down and say, actually, do you know what? You cannot sit with your keyboard and your mouse and do a lot of work, because again, physically, I can't do that. So mentally, I need to try and think, okay, well, how can I progress the plans that I've got with the limitations physically that I have? Because it's otherwise I am going to go down that rabbit hole of getting frustrated and bored and disgruntled if I don't acknowledge that my mental health is struggling because of my physical health. Does that make sense? So it's paying key attention to these things and just watching what you're doing and being aware of your thought processes. You could label it as emotional intelligence if you want, being emotionally aware of and not in control of your emotions, because, you know, the best will in the world, we can't control everything. But it is becoming aware of your mental processes. So how are you feeling? What are you thinking? What is the thought process? Where's it come from? You know, why are you thinking like that? Are you, as I've spoken about in the past, doing something suddenly from a feeling of panic, of urgency? Because that doesn't work. You know, I have courses that I need, see, it's the wrong word. There are courses that I am planning, that I am developing, which require me to do physical activity. So I have to acknowledge that I cannot do that. I have to accept that at the moment I cannot do that. And then just kind of do the very best I can with what I've got. So it is just use your brain power to start to investigate why you may be feeling out of sorts. Are you feeling out of sorts because of your physical ailment? Or are you just feeling out of sorts in general? Because if you're mentally stressed, if you're mentally depressed, if you're mentally, I don't know, agitated, concerned, worried, anything like that, it will have a physical impact on your body. I saw this in all the years I just focused on working on a pure Pilates and sports massage, that when a client's mental state was, as I've said before, depressed, anxious, stressed, their physicality changed, and all the stretching in the world and all the moving in the world couldn't undo that mental process that was going on and having the impact on the physicality. So it is, you know, don't just think, oh, I'm stressed, that's okay. No, it's not okay, because it will be making your muscles tight. It will be making your shoulders come up by your ears. It will be making you alter your physical posture, which will then possibly impact on your ability to breathe well, which will then impact on how efficiently the oxygen is going around your blood supply. So your mental state does have an impact on your physical state. So, you know, I've spoken about how my physical state was affecting my mental wellness, if you like, but there's the flip side. You know, my if I was feeling particularly stressed, then my body would be showing the signs of it too. So, you know, don't, again, hide, ignore, leave it simmering, any issues that you've got going on emotionally, you know, psychologically. Again, acknowledge that they're there, accept that they're there, and then investigate putting things into place that will help you improve your emotional state. So what can you do? Acknowledging it is the first step, rather than sticking your fingers in your ears and go, la, 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 I can't hear you. It is going to be, no, you're going to acknowledge that there's something going on and explore where it's coming from. Explore it with somebody like me, you know, do a Zoom call, get a phone appointment. But explore where these little things are coming from, where these uncertainties, these stresses, and then try and develop an action plan. So for me, as I said, I'm struggling physically because I hate not being able to do things. It's just, it is my little foible. So I am actioning the things I can do. So I have a marketing plan that I'm working through. So, you know, there are things that I can do to keep my brain busy, because if your brain is just constantly focused on the negatives and the things that aren't happening, aren't working, aren't going as well as you would like them to, your focus is all on that negative and you're just going to attract more of it. Whereas if you go, okay, right, there's some crap going on, but, you know, do you know what? I'm just going to park it. I'm going to leave it. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm going to do this instead. So it's direct your energy and your mental energy in a positive direction. So I hope that rambling made sense. Now, energetically, I've left this bit to last because if you're not really into this, you can just turn off now. I think that there is a lot to be said for our energy, for our, I don't even know how to describe it. It's that kind of that gut feeling, that really deep sense of being, your spirit, your soul, call it what you will. So if your kind of soul isn't happy, if your energy isn't happy, then again, we need to do something about it. So the chemicals from the operation, the mental aspect of it, there's a lot of other shit being going on as well. So I know my energy wasn't really feeling right. So you may have, for example, a feeling of kind of tenseness around the neck and shoulders, or your throat might feel weird, or you have sort of not chest pains, but tightness through the chest or lower down in your abdomen. They all correlate to your chakras. And again, if you don't believe in it, then that's absolutely tickety-boo and fine. But, if you're just vaguely interested, get on YouTube, for example. There's a fab thing. My brain is not functioning. There are lots of meditations on YouTube. I found one, a 30-day healing program, and one of the audios is balancing your 7 chakras. So I frequently have been doing that since my surgery, because I'm aware that I've had invasive procedures, I've had all this shit going on, and I need to balance my chakras basically, and it makes a huge difference. I did it this morning. I sat on the step and I went through the meditation. It was 45 minutes, and yeah, I feel so much better. That the knots and tension in places has all but gone now. So I think there is something. I mean, look at Chinese medicine. It's been around for thousands of years. There is something in this energy work, whether it's Reiki, whether it's chakras, whether it's any connotation you like. But I think it's something we underestimate, that if our soul is feeling a little bit shaken or a little bit out of kilter, again, it's going to have an impact on our mental and physical health. So for me, that's just my interpretation of the triad of health: your physical health, your mental health, your energetic health. I don't think they can be worked on in isolation. And I've done energy work on clients with their consent, obviously. I've done energy work on clients who did not believe in it. They just didn't really kind of think it was a thing. And I've had some phenomenal results. And they have felt the results. So like I say, give it a try. If you're just a little bit skeptical, give it a whirl. Go and have some Reiki. Go and do some energy work. Listen to a YouTube clip on, balancing your chakras. Do some relaxation work, because it will all help just to get that triad of health going. So although this podcast is how to get your shit together, I think this is really key. This is really important, not to ignore your physical, mental, energetic health, because all three will have an impact on getting your shit together at the end. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and I will speak to you again soon. Thank you.